happened when the leaves color and fell. The first hint of autumn chimes like a bell. Streets of New Orleans, busy as can be. Ships in the air, wherefore art thou key? Life grew dreary, everything in decline. Loss approached death, oh the desolate pine. Start again, got up to go somewhere new. Things were changing constantly, time to woo. Came here and gather, diverse and unique. No end to their journey, find what thou seek.
The pod named Charlie could hostile air while screeching for vengeance on his way there. Only trees and grass that lined the road see, and passengers tired since rough the road be. Desperate for Nashville, but so far it seems all of the people like still in Orleans. Some transverse to escape their own inner demons, others longing to punch North Koreans. When will they get there? Wrong turns that they make will all be alright, so much is at stake.
The crew was diverse, their jobs permitting. Some rich, middle class, some without penny. 9 characters all sitting together. None could say they were birds of a feather. Their personas ranged from quiet to loud. The biologist was the one most proud. The conductor was mad as a hatter. All couldn't help what wonder the matter. Quietly sat, all silent with boredom, till a weird event turned them all quite glum.
The train ride was going by very fast. Large the number of cities they passed. However, the train had stopped untimely because of an event that none could foresee. During the trip, about somewhere halfway, the travelers saw their total dismay. The train broke down, strange as can be. The conductor yelled out, "Don't die, Charlie!" They had chose to wait for the rescue queue and tell tales, for they had nothing to do.
The conductor of the train was the man. His exploits through time had a giant span. Through his age, he became quite feverish and decided that this job was his wish. Someone told him to get his life on track. He bought a train and never looked back. He lost all contact with the outside world. For breakfast, lunch, and dinner, his meal he hurled. His lover, Charlie, who was the train's name, constantly questioned whether he was sane.
Good wife and good man, traveling afar, slithering slimy serpents fill a jar. She left her home to search, begin, oh quest, collect creeping crawling creatures, the best. Land, lakes, liars, listen to the wildlife. Dear, you must hurry, complete not, no strife. I say, good man, shall we start our slow trek? Up to you, good wife, I hope we shan't wreck. Off they went, hiked to the bullet mobile, energy and excitement, zap and zeal.
Joining the group is a gambling man whose vice was the sauce and bets when he can. Mind filled with numbers, his wallet is light, and he prefers card games over a fight. He drinks to forget but cannot recall what made it so easy from grace to fall. He bet off his house and with it his wife. She left him to search for a better life. Misses his daughter, his wife he can quit, after she told him that he smelled like a pit.
Lonely and desperate, seeking peace at heart, a young widowed man looks for a fresh start. Oh dearest, oh sweet, why must you leave me? I seek your companionship, don't you see? He cries soft tears, always tosses and turns. Gaze at her picture, his sorrow does burn. For she was his all, his heart and his soul, and now his life is naught, meaning is null. So he travels blindly, breaking and broke, sets his past behind him, else he would choke.
His eyelids are heavy, his books plenty. This teen studies from 4 to 1:20. Sleep was as gold, costly and hard to find. His hours his physics teacher did bind. Calculus, English, history, and more. There wasn't a book he didn't adore. From his friends he's attached, no time for fun. From class to class he often has to run. One day he'll become very successful, but for now his mind is overly full.
The man near the end had traveled alone, whose indifference was so easily shown. When asked what the reason for his journey, he replied, following the company that moved to a more profitable state. Even though my job I severely hate, I have been employed for many years. Upon my leave, few farewells did I hear. To have no acquaintance, what a shame! But does he not have only himself to blame?
There's a student that never goes to class. Nightmares of calculus, infinite wrath. While all can see that God made this one slow, there are many pleasant traits she has shown. She's a great pal, a pleasure to have known. From 8 to 18, how much she has grown. Since she is 6'5" from head to her toe, at basketball she destroys all her foe. She's actually all too kind, fall hands down. But she sort of reminds me of a clown.
A man stood in front who was neurotic, much to the point that it was moronic. His father was rich with money, but not with the parental love that his son did sought. Funeral located in Tennessee, traveled by train, concerned for his safety. His father left him his fortune to take, but he sets to succeed for his father's sake. The family business he must take head. With him in charge, the company is dead.
In a small niche, few expressions shown, coming from the man who was all alone, sat with his guitar but played no guitar lick, a silent musician. How ironic, only and lonely but somewhat by plan, for no longer does he relate to man. Living on the streets, indifferent he grew, studying the people he thought he once knew, not thinking money or trying for fame, so long as he doesn't feel shame.
As a veteran colonel, one might think that my vigor should not contain a chink, but time has made my memories hazy, and people say I have become crazy. But one story I shall never forget is an interesting tale, but yet I'm pretty sure this happened to me. If you couldn't tell, this is true, you see. To imitate someone's work, you must jest. A chronicle from me shall be the best. Deep in North Korea I was stationed, fighting for this great, beautiful nation. The leader of a camp near enemy's den. Battles were fought between them and my men. Those communists were as cunning as cats, and our allies were ravenous as rats. To us they seemed like nothing but evil, nasty and small and many like weevils. But there was one whose demeanor was fair, my love for their leader was hard to bear. She led her troops with magnificent grace, what I wouldn't do for her sweet embrace. Communicating was impossible, but my many attempts proved successful. We were all alone on that battlefield. Instead of weapons, only love we wield. We kept our love secret from the rest. We couldn't be happy together unless our superiors found out and retire us, for we could not contain ourselves, our lust. Our love was as great as love of warfare. Battle tactics together we would share. Our battles fought were strategic and long, perfect in every way, nothing went wrong. Our men were used as what pawns are used for, fights ended a tie to lengthen the war. One day she sent a warning in a letter, some troops scouting from out north, I'd better prepare for the troops to attack the camp. To impress her, I would become the champ. A report came in after our attack that my liver had been stabbed in the back. Distraught I was, as you probably see, that she told me that confidentially. I retired after that night ashamed. My lover I betrayed. I was to blame. After the war ended, I went away to visit the lover and to go repay. Then I found out what the report meant. She was actually stabbed that day I lament.
I know I'm a sinner, I won't deny, but not all the time is it that I lie. And so, I'll tell a tale of righteousness, one that I heard while I was in Vegas. There was a young man who was rather poor. He spent his days working from 6 to 4. The money he had, he gave to his wife, and she used this to pay for food for life. Then one day he found a dice rolling man, and thought to himself, well, maybe I can. He put up some money, took the dice in hand, shook them, and threw those seeds into the land. He stared in surprise. He started to cry. He now had twice the money for some pie. He played again and again and again. He had little to lose and a lot to gain. He ran to his wife and told her the news. Now go to the store and buy me some booze. He burned through his riches. He quit his job. Then one day he turned to his wife with a sob. We've blown all our riches. What are we to do? We, good sir, this debt belongs to you. And so she left him for a richer man, stronger, taller, and was even more tan. The moral of the story, can't you tell? Don't play with fire if there's no well. I miss my daughter. She lives way too far. As for my wife, we're basically at war.